Let me just turn my camera to the side. Welcome to the Audible. Wow, it's been a bit of a mental week for us, and we'll go through that later. We're only on YouTube. For some reason, Facebook's kicked us off. So I've just shared it on my YouTube. I'm sure Lee's going to do that right now.
Turning up.
How are you, mate? Happy New Year, all that jazz.
Happy New Year, Merry Christmas, all that jazz. Yeah.
Do you know what, mate? I've eaten enough turkey this Christmas.
Oh my God. Do you know what, that diet's gone right out the window, isn't
Oh,
it?
so obviously I lost quite a lot of weight last year. So
Yeah,
like
yeah.
for me, it was like, you know what, I'm gonna full on enjoy myself.
I'm the same. I lost nearly 5 stone last
Yeah,
year as well. So it's been a mad year for weight loss.
in the
And
most
then
in the most
Christmas,
in the most PG way ever. I can see my manhood without a mirror now. It's great. Oh,
that's
did you get that?
impressive.
Did you get
That's
that? That was a funny
hello.
joke, and you didn't laugh. It's okay. Don't worry. We'll
I,
find the
I
awkwardness.
got it, mate. I got it. I got it. I got it.
Oh, we're having a bit of glitch in here. Steve, we're
Oh
hoping
no,
Steve
we're
joins us at
glitching.
some point. I think there's a bit of a delay. Can you hear me?
I can hear you good, mate.
Okay. But what a week for American football. I mean, football. We don't call it American football. We call it football. We were just talking before we went on the show. There was some crazy results. I mean, there was some predictable results. Don't get me wrong. There was some embarrassing results. But shall we? Should we get into it?
Let's
Oh,
jump into it.
let's. How do we add these comments? There we go. So people, you can all put your comments in there. You can ask any questions that you want. We'll get them answered. I've shared it on my Facebook, Lee. If you can, mate, that'd be great.
Yeah,
So,
brilliant.
first game of the week was the Commanders and the Cowboys. It was really nothing to play for.
Yeah.
I thought the Commanders gave a good account of themselves. I think it's mental how far they've fallen from the grace since last season. Cowboys still doing Cowboys things, but 30 points to 23. I was quite. The problem I had with the fixtures for this week was the Commanders Cowboys, nothing really to play for. Vikings had Lions. It they were good games. They were good games to watch, but for me, it wasn't. The Commanders Cowboys. Let's just talk about that one first. There was no
Yeah.
interest, and that's where it's hard at this point in the season.
Yeah, so I think you're absolutely right. We got to that point of the year where, Jaden Daniels, the quarterback of the Commanders, was probably healthy to play, but they're looking at it going, do we really want to injure him anymore?
Yeah,
There's nothing to play for. There's when you're in that sort of situation, do you just put a fighting group out there and just hope that next year's draft picks will fall in your favor and you can walk away for another day and see where you are at next year. Because I mean, like you say, last year they were in the playoffs. They were a strong team
yeah.
towards the end of the season.
I seen something about like the amount of teams that made playoffs this year compared to who haven't this year. It's crazy. Look, we've got other games we've got to talk about. Let's go through the fodder, as we say. Let's go
Do
through that,
it.
and then we can get through to some of the good bits. Because I'm sure you're going to want to talk about your beloved Eagles. We're certainly going to want to talk about that awful Jets game. But let's go on to the next one, which was the Vikings and the Lions. Vikings won 23-10. I, I'll be honest, I had the Lions down on this one.
Yeah.
Great game.
Yeah, it was. Do you know what? It was just the Lions just couldn't get the ball moving.
Oh my god,
You
bad,
know,
bad.
Dan Campbell was. I mean, it was a turnover heaven, really,
Yeah,
wasn't it? I mean, I know Jared Goff wasn't having his best game. He threw some interceptions. There were some fumbles. The Vikings defense turned up and they stopped Detroit in their tracks. And
yeah.
JJ McCarthy was it JJ McCarthy was playing? I think it was. No, it wasn't. Who was their backup?
At
It
this
was
point, mate, I was about 15 Jaeger bombs in. So,
Yeah, so
honestly,
it was actually the undrafted rookie that came in and saved the day. He was just absolute balling,
yeah,
and it was a great game. It really was a great game, and
we've got a high
yeah,
on
it
the
was
who.
just high in a who.
Hi
It was
who, hi who, hi who. That's not copyright. That's not too copyright.
it
No,
was
no,
it
yeah,
was a disappointing game because I like it. Like I said, it was the Lions game, to walk away with, and they ended up losing. I mean, fair play. It was in Minnesota, and it was a rowdy crowd that they were playing up against. But come on, you should be winning these games, especially
Yeah.
a third string QB. It's absolutely crazy.
Well, talking about first string QB, let's talk about the next game. Broncos against the Chiefs. I thought the Chiefs held themselves in a really, really accountable. Really, I thought they did well considering. Broncos with a win. I'd say one hand, maybe both hands now holding on to that number one spot because you don't see Chargers putting out the main squad. What for? What
Yeah,
for?
yeah,
But Broncos won 20-13. I thought Chiefs defense did really well in this game, in a game that they had to, show up on. Steve, first game this season, he's picked the Chiefs to get beat, and we all did on that one. He was right. You got any thoughts on this one, mate? Football better. Oh my god. Do you know what,
yeah.
mate? I want to say this. I love football. I love what we call players or play and watch as American football. Um, but I don't comment on like Liverpool streams because I follow this Irish guy. By the way, he's hilarious when especially when we can see the goal. What's going on? Anyway, I don't comment on that. Going American football is better for me. American football is the best sport in the world. It's the most technical sport, and I love it. I'm a Liverpool fan, mate. I love Liverpool. But we'll get back to it as you were, mate.
As we were. Do you know what? Yeah, let's talk about the Chiefs and
Yeah,
the Broncos because it was a lot tighter game than we were both anticipating. I
correct.
think we can fairly say.
Yeah,
The Chiefs defense really did show up, and I think you can tell by the box score. It wasn't a high scoring game, and
correct.
you know
Do
it
you
really
feel
did.
do you feel both teams took the foot off the gas? They were just completing the fixture. Bear in mind, it was Christmas Day as well, which I find flabbergasting that games happen on Christmas Day. Because if I played, I'd be like, "No, I'm not playing Christmas Day. Don't want to be with my family."
Yeah, I mean, it certainly seemed that way on the offensive side of the ball.
Hmm.
Defensively, I think they were looking for stats
Yeah,
everywhere. People want that sack, people want that
mm,
forced fumble or the interception. So, Spags and Kansas City's defense, they were still hunting, and they were still grinding away. And I know, there was an offside, wasn't there, for the Chiefs that gave you guys a first down, which kept the ball moving.
yeah.
And that was by the veteran, Jones, wasn't it? Stone Cold
You,
Jones. What
you've got to
he,
play. You've got to play your luck though as well. Like Like one thing that Broncos aren't doing themselves any favors on is penalties from stupid stuff like offsides,
yeah,
holding, stuff like that. So that for me, that's one big thing that's going to affect the Broncos in the playoffs. But no, you're spot on right. But again, Broncos are there. It's a game that didn't really matter. I think that's the problem this week.
yeah,
However,
yeah. A
this
win's a
next
win.
game,
A win's a
this
win for the Broncos. Next game, let's have a look at the next game.
Chargers and Texans. What a game this was! Chargers, Texans. Texans, my favorite defense, apart from obviously the Denver Broncos. Just unreal. They seem to be clicking. I think the last team that beat the Texans, who was it? The Denver Broncos. They've been on a phenomenal run, and they won 20 points to 16. Chargers are in the playoffs. I don't think they can get a home field advantage. So what you're going to find is their next game, which is against the Broncos. Rest. I thought this was a great game, a good game for football. What did you think, mate?
Again, defense. It was a
Unreal.
defensive game,
Yeah,
and yeah, it just seemed like the Chargers just couldn't get anything moving. To only put 16 points on the board, you know, I mean, I think a lot of those were field goals, or two of them were field goals. I
yeah,
think there were three field goals in total, wasn't it? It was just
yeah.
they just could not get the ball downfield, and Justin Herbert was just not what we've seen him in weeks past. Um, and on the flip side of that, we look at the Texans, and they're looking good. They
Correct.
are looking really good, and to the fact that they are, I think they're still fighting out for the division with the Jags. There's, I mean, we rewind. 8 weeks ago, we were saying, "Oh, it's the Colts. The Colts are going to win the division," and then now the Colts have faded into the background, and we've got the Texans and the Jags are at the front runners, and it's just absolutely bizarre. So, I think if the Texans do get that, they do get the automatic win the division. I think they'll have a better run.
Yeah.
And I don't think they're making the AFC final, but I think they could get to the championship game.
See, when
Well,
it gets to
just
playoffs, anything can happen.
it is, and it's that's why we love football, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's any given Sunday, and I think that's what makes it exciting for me.
Next up, we had the Packers against the Ravens. I'll be honest, this result shocked me. The Ravens won 41-24. What? What
Derek
the hell?
Henry just woke up.
Woke up.
Derek Henry.
Woke up. Mate, he was like Stranger Things. He was like Vecna on everyone. He was just spoiler alert. We're not going to do that. Don't worry.
Nope.
No. I'm already in enough trouble for that. No, the Ravens. All they got to do is win. What a game! That is game of the week next week. Obviously, we'll get to that later, but there's no other game that beats that.
No, there's literally, I know there's going to be 16 games at the weekend, but only 3 games matter in terms of who actually goes through to the to the playoffs. And this game is going to be wild. The Ravens have been so hot and cold, and I think that's been their weakness for these, for the whole of this season.
Yeah.
They'll absolutely destroy a team like the Packers there, and just run up a 40 burger on a playoff bound team, and then next week they'll get beaten by the Browns. They're just inconsistent. But it proves one thing. When they are on fire, they're on fire. And I don't think they're going to make it far into the playoffs if they do get there. But they're going to put on a hell of a show on the. I think it's when they're on Saturday night or Sunday. Sunday night, I think they're on, or Monday.
Should we talk about an absolutely horrendous game?
Let's do that.
Dolphins Buccaneers. What has happened to the Buccaneers?
Oh,
what has happened?
I wish I could tell you.
That is because they were up, and it's not a case that they've gone down. They've literally gone.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's that whole injury bug, isn't it? They lost a lot of wide receivers.
Everyone has injuries. Look at Chargers. Online on the 12th string goal line. The Water Boy's going to step up and play right tackle next week. Like, nah.
Yeah.
Everyone has injuries.
I completely agree with you there. And it's how the coaching staff rally around the team and keep them pushing forward. And I think that's perhaps where they've fallen down. It has been rocky, and I think that the difference in coaching styles between Jim Harbaugh and is it Todd Bowles? Todd Bowles, is it? Yeah, Todd Bowles is the is the Bucks coach. And their coaching style are completely different. When things get low, how do you pick the team up and say, look, okay, we might be missing our star wide receiver or left tackle or all the above, but we'll make it work. And I think that's where the Bucks have struggled. They had a couple of hard games to beat, and then they seem to be losing the games that they should be winning. And we shouldn't be taking anything off the Miami Dolphins here. They've come out fighting. Obviously you've got your third string quarterback in there.
Do you know the Buccaneers have still got a chance of making the playoffs?
They have, yeah. So they've got to beat the Panthers.
That's going to be another great game.
Yeah, and that's one of the 3 that I'm talking about. There's not many out there now that actually have implications on who makes it into the playoffs, and this is definitely one of them.
Wow. Let's get on to the next one, because there's some great games. This one was eye cancer. This one was hell. This one was worse than my college football team, CSU, who are falling apart like quicker than Humpty Dumpty. The Jets and the Patriots. The Patriots won 42-10. I think at half time it was 30-0. Embarrassing. Like, if there was ever a call for a team to be relegated, the way we do in normal football, soccer, whatever you want to really call it, the Jets are the reason for it. Like, they are absolutely awful. I seen a
Yeah.
post. Some guy said I took my daughter to my first ever game, and when we were a bit late and we got there for the second quarter, and we half time we left because it was that bad.
Yeah.
How do you how do you even fix that? Did you watch this?
Do you know what? I was watching it on Red Zone. It kept flashing up, and it was just the Patriots have got the ball. The Patriots have scored. The Patriots have got the ball. The Patriots have scored, and it was just incredible to see how dominant they looked against the Jets.
Yeah.
And I said to somebody who I had over who was watching their game with me, I said, by the looks of this, they're going to pull Drake May off and put in the second string QB and the wide receivers and everything, and just coast this game out. But they kept him out there until the third quarter, and then I think they pulled him in the last quarter. Otherwise, this would have probably been a 50 burger for sure.
In terms of the NFL power rankings, there's only one team below the Jets. Do you know who that is?
Raiders.
You got it. No,
They are trash.
Yeah, they're awful. Honestly, it's just it's awful. It's awful on every aspect. And on that note, let's move on to the next game. Browns and Steelers. Wow, no one's seen this coming. Browns 13, Steelers 6. The Steelers, the most inconsistent thing I've ever seen in my life. I know Rodgers is going for that. He wants it one more. Well, he's never had it before. Wow. How can they just be 1 week not great but good, and then the next week dire?
Oh, do you know what? I mean, when you are division leaders, which they are, they're 9-7 at the moment. They've not even hit double digits, and they potentially going to be going into the playoffs.
Yeah.
That whole entire league is not doing very well.
No.
The Ravens are obviously slightly behind them, and then you've got the Bengals and then the Browns. We thought at the beginning of the season it was going to be Ravens and Bengals running away with a division. Steelers, a lot of people were unsure about them, and the Browns were just going to be trash. It turns out all four teams have been kind of trash this year. There's no consistency, as you said. They have a really great week, and then the following week they're just fallen off the edge of the cliff, and again get beat by the Browns. The team that shouldn't be winning are winning, and still Myles Garrett doesn't have his sack that's going to give him the record, which is absolutely bizarre.
Who are they playing? Who are they? Well, we'll get to it in a bit who they're playing, but it's going to all pressure's on him this weekend, I tell you. Next up, we had the Colts and the Jags. I really wanted the Colts to do well with their QB coming back. There's a lad who I used to play American football with, Brandon. His name is, and he's just announced that he's having another kid. And I think I put it on a group chat. What did I put? Give me 1 minute, because it was a belter of a comment. I put, where is it? No, I'm getting grief on that one. Philip Rivers of Staffordshire Surge, you are, mate. Because he's just got loads of kids. Didn't go down too well, that comment. But no. It was a good game, this one. Jags look brilliant. They really do. What they've tweaked and done this season, it's working. It absolutely is working. 23-17 against the Colts. Rivers has said he's not coming back, which I would have liked to maybe seen one more season, but I get it. He's just done it. Go on, mate, you're up.
Yeah, I mean, do you know what? I think the Jags are a prime example of a team that just make those fine tweaks in the sort of the transfer window, and then all suddenly they're a good team. Because everyone remember beginning of the season, when they come to London, and the Rams just absolutely steamrolled them, and we were just like, oh, it's the same old Jags, probably top 10 pick in this next year's draft. And then kind of since that point there, the transfer window kind of opened up. They got another wide receiver and a few other players on the defense, and all suddenly, bam, they're heading towards the playoffs and having a really, really good year. So yeah, there's a few implications that could happen this weekend. It'll be interesting to see how
Yeah,
they get into the playoffs.
I mean, in terms of the playoff picture, the Jags are ranked third. If the Pats get beat, then they'll be ranked. I don't know if either second or third. I think
Yeah,
the
I think they're
um,
still. I think they stay third. I think the implication is if they lose and the Texans win, then the Texans go into third, and the
well,
Jags go through as a wild card.
the Titans are already out. So
Yeah, the Titans.
you imagine the Jags is still going to play a decent team because they'll want
Yeah,
that home field advantage. It's honestly, I'm still really looking forward to this week's games. Up next, it's not one I really want to talk about, but we'll talk about it. The Titans against the Saints. The Saints pull another win out of the bag, winning 34-26. Two teams who've not really had the best of seasons. Did you catch this, mate? Did you pour vodka in your
yeah.
eyes after watching it?
Do you know what? I was kind of cheering for the Titans on this one. You know,
Mm.
they looked like they were going to win at one point, and
Yes.
then all of a suddenly the Saints pulled it out of the bag. Um, you know, they looked like a fairly decent team again. Yeah, so the Saints are. Oh, they're a team I just don't know how to feel about right now.
Yeah.
You know, I want to hate them, but they're looking okay.
Yeah.
You know, are they gonna roll with Tyler Shook next year? How far are they off from getting a winning team again? I'm not too sure. So I'm up in the air. But this game was, like I say, it wasn't the most exciting game, but the Saints pulled a win out of it. It means nothing. Um, yeah, I think it's just that's it for me really on that one.
That's why I said let's chat about it as
Yeah,
least as possible. Let's move on. Right, okay, Panthers Seahawks. This was a game for me that showed Seahawks can go all the way and win the whole thing. Because look, Panthers is still in it. To be in it at this point, you've got to be a good team. But this performance showed why A, the Panthers haven't qualified yet, and B, Seahawks are where they are for a reason. 27-10. Look, I like the Panthers. You know, I picked the Panthers because Panthers this season have won games against really good teams, then lost against really poor teams. It's been a bit of a mental season for them. But that being said, they're still in with a chance. They've just got to beat the Buccaneers, who've been awful. Um, do you have like a percentage, of so if the Panthers win, there's a 99% chance they're going through. How are they not going through if they don't win? I don't get that.
yeah,
Unless they get beat by they win by like hardly any points. I don't know. But anyway, yeah. Seahawks, brilliant. They've lost 3 games this season. Um, you know, people give Broncos thinking about, there's games they've only just won and that. Seahawks have won games convincingly a lot this season.
yeah. I think
Um,
the only thing for me is how they started that game.
yes,
They
correct.
started very, very slow. You know, the Panthers took, a 7-point lead on them. Seahawks then kicked a field goal. Panthers kicked a field goal, and then it was just a bit stalematey for a bit. And then the Seahawks woke up. Their defense woke up.
If
It then
they
turned into a game.
if they do that against the Bears, Eagles, or the 49ers, heck, even the Rams, it's not going to end up well for them if they have
No.
a slow start. So that can't happen again. They are guaranteed that top spot. That's it. So I imagine everyone's having a rest week, getting themselves ready for whatever they're playing next.
Yeah.
So yeah, interest in that one. Let's move on to the next result, mate, which was the Bengals against the Cardinals. Wow. Bengals won 37-14. Cardinals were absolutely awful. They've been pretty bad all season, let's be honest. Again, it was one of them games where it's not as bad as the next game we're going to talk about in terms of, trash, but it was pretty trashy.
Yeah, I mean, the only good thing that came out of this game was, Trey McBride uh, getting a record of some sort. I can't remember
Yeah.
what it is. Receiving catches within the first few years or something. He's surpassed some stats somewhere down the line. I'm sure if Steve was here, he'd be able to tell us exactly what it is. Apart from that, it was a pretty dominant game from Jamar Chase and T Higgins and the rest of the Bengals just looked really dominant, and it was this is kind of what we expected to see from the Bengals from the whole season.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, with the injury to Joe Burrows, I think that kind of took away the shine of the season, and it'll be interesting to see how the Bengals navigate the off season and come back next year. Because there is talks, there is whispers that Joe Burrows isn't happy where he is right now.
Do you blame him? No, like 'cause
No,
do you
of
know what?
course.
Like, I always try and compare it to me, and and everyone does that. You'll do that when you were playing, so on and so forth. Like, am I happy? Am I happy with this current setup? So, like, when I left, the team I left to join Lancashire Buccaneers was a great team. It was a great team. Div 1 team, really good team. And there was a lot of people on that team who I loved, and I'm still mates with them now. But there was too many people on that team that I was just like, I don't like you, and I'm never gonna like you. So that's why I moved. Him and one of my mates at that very same teams, he said to me, "These are the best days of your life. Do not do this. If you're not happy, do this somewhere where you will be happy." And that was great advice. 1 second, 2 secs. Anyway, so he's most probably thinking, "Am I going to win something here?" No, but
Yeah.
who do you think would snatch him? Who do you think would take him?
I mean, look, Jets have got 2 first-round picks next year. They would they be up for negotiating there? You then
But,
perhaps,
but then what? I'd just stay where it was. I know they've
yeah.
got 3 first round picks, but yeah, you know when you're trying to think who wants, because he's a solid QB. There's no denying he's a solid QB. But
So I think it all falls down to who is going to be the head coach. So you look at OCs and what OCs are going to be perhaps promoted to be incoming head coaches. Joe Burrow's offensive coordinator back when he was in LSU was Joe Brady, who's
yes,
currently the OC at the Bills. Is he due a promotion? Is he going to become a head coach somewhere? Will Joe Burrows want to go where he's going?
mm.
That's going to be the question. And I think wherever but if Joe Burrow, if Joe Brady does get a role
No
somewhere,
way. Please don't tell me this is
would
happening. Hello,
hello
can you hear
mate,
me?
still here? Yeah, I can still hear you. Can you hear us?
Oh crap.
Well, it's just me then. I'll just talk on my own whilst Matteo sorts his phone out and rejoins the link. Obviously, he's messing around there and decided to lose the stream. So and there he is. He's back. We're all good now.
Do you know what? Do you know what? Someone's called me from this stream. Most probably going because he only comments on the Facebook. I'm so sorry. And I know why he's called me. He's like, "Why isn't your stream on?" Oh, mate. Oh, I'll tell you about this later. That's hilarious. But he's ringing me. I'm like, "Oh my god, he doesn't even know what he's doing." Yes, sorry about that, folks. As you were, mate.
Yeah. So like I said, I think wherever Joe Brady lands, I think Joe Burrow may be interested in that team as his potential landing spot.
It's mad. It's mad because in Britball, people are always constantly chopping and changing. Like Nighthawk's got a good chunk. Well, sorry, let me rephrase that. Nighthawk got a chunk of players from Titans, and when they settled in, you see Nighthawk's results turn around. But that set click of players go from one club to another club. Do you get what I mean? But it worked. It worked. It worked for them. It's a mad one because like Lee Miners, by the way, great logo. Just seen it. I'll send you it later, mate. It's actually pretty spot
Yeah.
on. They lost a lot of players, but they're recruiting them back. And coaches have such a big impact on that. When I joined the Buccaneers, I really wanted to get Dave Pawson in, and it was only till totally true story. This I was on the toilet and I was like, "Oh, I've got a great idea." Dave, blah blah blah, got it sorted. He brings a touch of class to the team. He's a great guy, stuff like that. But let's get away from Britball. Let's go back to it. Let's talk about the third bowl. We're going to call it that. That's very PG. The
Oh,
Raiders against the Giants. The Giants gave up
oh,
their number one pick next season and beat the Raiders 34-10. This was a Awful game. It was an absolute toilet bowl. That's what we're calling it, the toilet bowl. Did you watch this?
Can I be honest? I didn't even entertain it. I thought
I
it was just gonna be it was that rubbish. It just didn't. I didn't want to put my effort into even remotely watching it.
I think this was most probably the worst game of football I've seen for a while. Now Giants got the win. Giants can only do what they did, but Raiders were really that bad. And you know what the mad thing is? Do you know one of the Raiders wins about this season?
Patriots. Yeah, the
What?
the the parody of the NFL.
Honest
It
to God, mate.
it was the first game of the season. Patriots are trying to find their footing, and the Raiders managed to sneak in a win at
It,
Gillette Field as well, which is just absolutely bonkers. And then from there, all downhill. It's just
mad,
been
mad. Let's go on to the next one, which was a great game. Eagles against the Bills. Eagles won 13-12. I'm going to let you go all on this one, mate. Off
oh
you
my
go.
god. So I used to have a real good head of hair when I was a youngster, and it's games like this where I just realise, well, I don't have a full head of hair anymore. It was so stressful. The Eagles seemed to just dominate the first half. It was just incredible to watch. The offense just take command and to move down the field. There was a couple of mistakes. A few fumbles and interceptions, but overall, the Eagles looked like they were in control. The defense were half asleep. But then come the second half, the Eagles defense woke up, the Eagles offense went back to sleep, and we stopped scoring. And it wasn't, it was the dying seconds, when the Bills scored a touchdown and they decided to go for a 2-point conversion instead of the field goal to tie it. That the defense stepped up and Josh Allen overthrew his wide receiver, and the Eagles walk off Orchard Park with a win. But it was a real messy win, but it was a win nonetheless. What have we learned from that game? The Eagles need to be more consistent with their offense, and their defense need to wake up sooner.
Yeah. This is the part of the season where you guys raise her up a level, though.
Yeah.
People ask questions all the time about like if the Chiefs would have got to the playoffs, people would have put on good money, no matter how bad they've been this season. You've kind of got that same vibe. Don't hit me. But no, really, 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 really interesting one. It's going to be, for me, it's going to be a good end to the season on that one. And it'll be interesting to see what you do next week. Let's have a look at the playoff picture with you guys. So you need a win to stay guaranteed home. Am I right in saying that?
No, so we'll be probably the 3 seed, so we'll still have the home advantage.
Okay.
We'll be playing Rams, I think.
You'll be playing the 5th seed, would you
So
not?
the Rams or 9.
49 is a 5th seed at the moment.
Which one do I want to?
Either or, mate. Either or.
Either or. It's going to be a tough game. It's going to be a tough game. So I think I think the Eagles are going to be. Well, I already know the Eagles are resting their starters. They've already announced it all over their socials that Jalen Hurts isn't starting. A lot of their key players that aren't going to be starting. So, win or lose against the Commanders, it doesn't matter. It doesn't affect us. It's everyone around us. So it's how the other games finish and who we actually play, whether in us. So we need to come in. We need to go into the playoffs with a plan, because right now what we performed against the Bills didn't look like a plan. That just looked like we were struggling.
No, definitely. Right, going on to the 49ers and the Bears. 49ers won 42-38. I thought this was a brilliant game.
Oh my God.
It wasn't just a brilliant game, it was an elite game. This, along with the Chargers and Texans, you've got to be up there for game of the week. 49ers putting himself in great contention for the playoffs. Obviously, they qualified. That's it. We know they qualified. But the Bears are 2nd seed. The 49ers are fifth seed. It's going to be a brilliant finish to the season.
You know, come week 5 of this season, I was so confident in the Eagles, that we were going to, get to the Super Bowl and win the Super Bowl, and we were going to become champions again. And, like I said, we know the playoff picture for the Eagles is looking like as the Rams or the Niners. And after seeing that performance at the weekend, I really hope it's not the Niners, because they are looking strong. Their offense is, like you say, elite. And some of the Bears, oh my God, it's just, they are looking so good. The only takeaway you can get from this is, because it was such a high scoring game.
Yeah.
Can we question their defense maybe? But God blimey, it was an exciting game, wasn't it?
I'd understand why you say that. But for me, that time of the year. Oh, we got Nathan. Nathan, he just rang me. Nathan
It
just
was
rang me.
Nathan that rang.
Nathan,
Nathan.
you absolute swine. I'll call you back as soon as this is done, mate. I'll tell you all the news. Yeah, it was Nathan who rang me. I was just like, oh, it'd be funny if he goes, it wasn't me. Yes, mate. Sorry about that. I was doing this and you cut it off, but you'll see it later. Yeah. No. Brilliant game. I think we move on. We've got so much to talk about as well, because I really want. Hang on, wait there. We've got. Let's say that. Bears, if win Sunday, host Dirty Packers. If we lose, host loser of 49ers and Seahawks.
Yeah, it's a tough way
But
to go through.
I think you'd want the Packers, because the Packers have dipped in form. In this sport,
Yeah, absolutely.
momentum is everything. Let's get on to the next one. And for some reason I've lost me thing.
This one was the shock of the week again, I think.
2 seconds, mate. NFL.
So we had. Do you want me to say what it is?
Go for it.
So it was the Falcons against the Rams.
Yes, this was the
Falcons
shock.
27, Rams 24. This was it. this was the shock of the week. Oh my God! Where
Right.
B. John Robinson.
Falcons.
B. John Robinson.
Falcons haven't been that bad as you think. They're 7-9 for the season. However, they were 6-9 before this getting kicked off. So the Rams should win. But myself included, I've said that the Rams aren't what people think they are, and this game proved it. However, they've got a good game against Atlanta. I don't think they can climb a position. Can they?
No. I don't think they can.
But do they rest everyone against the Falcons? More than likely. If you're guaranteed your place, you'd be stupid to put on anyone in the hopes of they're going to get beaten. You can climb a position. But it was a shocker. But that's football, and that's why we love it. And that was week 17, folks. Boom. Are you in any fancy football finals? I'm in one.
We've had our finals last week, so I came second in one final, third in another one, and I came 10th in my other one. So I did fairly good. 2, 3, and 10.
I won a game last week, and I'd say I've got a final this week. So it's a league I won't be in again anyway. But Seahawks win, NFC West, 49 runners up, and Rams miss playoffs. You'd love that, wouldn't you, mate? But folks, the Audible is going to carry on as normal. The Audible will not stop. We absolutely love what Sport Tank have done for us in giving us our platform and educating us on how to do this. And look, we only want to, grow the sport of American football. So it will carry on. We will carry on next season. We'll carry on off season. I've had a few messages, but we're all going to be carrying on. We're really looking forward to it. But should we get on to week 18? Because if we don't, we'll end up talking Stranger Things spoilers. Eddie returns. Could you imagine? Right. So we've got one of the interesting games of the week. First up, Bucks against the Panthers. I'm going for the Panthers. It's the first time I've picked against the Bucks. No, the second time I've picked against the Bucks this season. I'm going for the Panthers.
Oh, that's interesting. Oh, see, I'm thinking again.
Happy New Year, Nate.
Home field.
Sorry.
Happy New Year, you too, mate. Yeah. I think the only thing that I've got going here is is all the home teams are going to win. So that's my sort of caveat to this, to every pick that I'm going to do is every home team's going to win. So for my pick this week is going to be the Buccaneers. I think they've got the home field advantage, and I'm just hoping Baker's pulling something
Panthers
out.
21, Bucks 18. That's a good prediction, that, mate. Okay. 49ers against the Seahawks. I'm going to go for the 49ers
Yeah.
because the Seahawks aren't playing anyone. The Seahawks aren't playing anyone, mate. Hey,
Again, it's home field advantage. I'm
do
exactly with you.
you
I'm
know
right
what,
with
mate?
you.
I'm glad you said that because the Raiders are at home to the Chiefs, and we'll get on to that in a bit. So you're going for the 49ers, correct? Okay.
Yep.
Texans
49ers.
against the Colts. I am picking the Colts.
Again, home field. I'm going
Right.
Texans.
Do something different. Bengals against the Browns. Don't.
I'm going Bengals because Bengals are at home. I think I generally think this is going to be a good game. I
I
think
think the Bengals will win.
Miles Garrett is going to be on the field. Miles Garrett is going to be on that field. He wants that final sack, and he's going to get it against whoever's playing QB there.
Falcons and Saints.
So Nathan's there saying Seahawks 28, Niners 24.
I don't think the Seahawks are playing
pick
anyone, mate. I
6.
think they'd rather anyone play QB for them right now. Anyone play any of their starters, they're going to be watching from the sideline. Yeah. I would be picking the Bengals. I'll agree with you on that one. Falcons and Saints. I'll be going for the Falcons.
Which one we got? Falcons, Saints. Yeah, Falcons as well. Home field advantage.
Okay.
Yeah.
This next one, the Vikings against the Packers.
I've gone Vikings on this one.
I'm going to agree with you because they're not playing the
Again,
starters, and this is what the mad part of this season is.
Yeah. This is it. This is what's going to be
Yeah.
crazy. Is it, if Minnesota's still going to be playing their QB3 because they've got no other QBs to play, and I think Justin Jefferson and everyone else is going to want to put the points up before they put their second strings out. So yeah, Minnesota in this one.
Jaguars and Titans.
Yeah.
I'm going for the Titans. They're not Jags aren't playing their starters, mate. They have a home field game. Do you really want it? Their QB is such a big asset. Are they going to risk that for?
No, they're not. They won't be playing their starters. What do Tennessee do? That's going to be my question in this game. Are they going to play their QB1 or are they going to be putting out their second string? Because again, it's just going to be a toss up. If they put out their first string out, then Titans are going to get this. If they're putting their second string out, then for sure it's going to be the Jags to win.
And your answer is
the Jaguars are going to win this one. Home field advantage.
Have you got your Giants shirt on?
Okay. No, that's still sitting around
Next,
the toilet.
We've got Giants against Cowboys. Who are you picking, mate?
Again, Giants in this one. I think Dallas are falling apart at the seams. They're trading Trayvon Diggs. They're giving up. So they're Giants.
Right, I'm going for the Cowboys in this one. Sorry, Coach Russ, if you're watching. Titans because wife's a Jags fan. My wife hates this sport. I think, I don't know. So yeah, I'm going for Cowboys. You're going for Giants. Rams and Cardinals.
Rams in this one.
Rams.
Home field advantage again.
Right, Raiders against the Chiefs. I think Raiders will win too.
I think the Raiders are going to win this one.
I think they're going to win. Giants, fork, as in fork, spoon and fork. The Cowboys, I like that. Thank you. Even a PG. Yeah, I think that the Raiders will do the Chiefs, which would be mental because could you imagine, even if they win and the Giants get beat, they'd still get the number 1 pick, wouldn't they?
Yep.
Mental. Eagles and Commanders.
Eagles on this one, even though they're going to be putting their second string out. I think Commanders will be doing the same thing.
I'm going to go for Commanders in this one. Just because I don't think Commanders will. Patriots and Dolphins. Pats.
Pats. Yeah, Pats are going to win this one. even though their second strings are going to be out there. But yeah,
Yeah.
Pats again.
Do you think the second strings will be there?
Dolphins are traveling up. Yeah, Dolphins are traveling up to a very cold Gillette Stadium. They never perform well in the cold. They're going to buckle.
Okay. Bears and Lions. Nate, we all know who Nathan's going to pick here. Bears or Lions?
Oh, this is an interesting one. Who's at home? Bears, Lions. Which ones? Which ones? Which ones? Why can't I see the Bears, Lions? Oh, there it is. I think the Bears on this one. Bears on this one. It's going to love
Hang
that
on,
one.
right. Let's look at this playoff picture. So the Bears are guaranteed a home game, aren't they?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they've clinched the division. So
On that note, I will be picking the Lions because I imagine the Bears are going to rest the players. These are some random picks, by the way, folks. Broncos and Chargers. Who are you picking here, mate?
home team,
Broncos, yeah.
the
Not just because the home
Broncos.
team, the better team. I think the Broncos will win. Do you think Caleb Williams stays in to hit 4,000 yards this season? Then
I
he's
mean,
young.
that's an achievement, isn't it? But then again, we look at Saquon Barkley with the same as last year. He had the chance to break the record, and the
And he gave it
coaches
up.
overruled him. And the coaches overruled him and said, "No, you're not." And I know he begged him to go in. So I don't think Ben Johnson is going to let Caleb go in.
Chargers, are you mental? I'm not even calling you back. I'm definitely not calling you back now. Are you mental? Chargers are resting the players. Broncos aren't. No, no chance. Whatever drugs you're on, stop. Drugs are bad. And then we've got the Bills against the Jets. It's the Bills. I don't care. The Bills could rest the team. The Bills could have their under 19s. The Bills could have the C team, the D team. The Jets are just awful. So I'm going to go for the Bills in this one.
Yeah, it's last game in Orchard Park, so it'll be a
Oh,
good last game. They move to their new stadium next year, so interested to see how they close the season out.
and then the game of the week, Steelers against the Ravens. I'm going to let you go first. And if you pick home field advantage, I'm going to reach through this screen.
So I'm picking this team because I've heard rumors that Lamar Jackson is still questionable whether
He's
he's
been
going to be playing.
training.
He's been training, but that's no. I mean, I know the Ravens did this earlier on in the season, didn't they? When there was a whole scandal about it.
Yeah.
But I think Aaron Rodgers is going to come out firing on this one, and he's going to put it against the Ravens.
Nah.
Which does complete my home field advantage streak.
I'm picking the Ravens on this one. I would love for football, for Baltimore, for everyone. I'd love for the Ravens to do. And look, I like Aaron Rodgers, but that whole being 5-1, 1-5, whatever you want to call it, and to come back would be phenomenal. And to be fair, I'd rather play the Steelers than the Ravens in the playoffs.
Yeah.
We'll see. So that's that. Have you got any plans this week, mate?
No, nothing this week actually. Got back to work tomorrow, so yeah, I've had a nice couple of weeks off.
I'm back in
You've been
tomorrow.
a bit poorly, haven't you? You've been a bit.
Oh, mate, I'm full of it, mate. I'm full of it. I'm over the most of it. I've had 2 lovely hot baths. But no, busy December, back into 2025. My aim in 2026 is to sell 500 cars. So,
mate, that's like 2 cars a day.
no, hear me out, bro. Hear me out. So, I started selling in my place in March. So they put me on training for 2 months, to make sure I'm selling to their standards. Great company. And I was the number 1 seller by 43 cars, even though I had a 2-month. They had a 2-month head start.
You just got the gift of the gab, haven't you? That's
Do you know what?
No,
do you know what it is? So it's just got to be an enjoyable experience. If you're not enjoying the whole process of buying a car, buying anything like of that amount, it's not being done properly. So, I like to get to know my customers, have a good laugh, try and relate to something with them. Any guy who's above 6'2" and 20 stone, I'll try and get him to join a football team and all that. Literally, you ever played American football? No, you ever thought about it? You get it. You get to do all sorts and get away with it, mate. And they're like, yeah. But no, what's that MVP of Stream Games gets a car. No, No, I don't even get a car. I'm driving around in a £1,000 banger because I'm paying off this house. But no, folks, we will see you next week. We're tweaking a few things on the back of our end. Some news to come up soon. Everything's going to carry on as normal. We'll still be on Spotify. We'll still be on Amazon. We'll still be on Apple Podcasts. We'll still be on YouTube. But we'll give you more information on that. We truly appreciate you all joining us in 2025, and we wish you all the best in 2026. I've been Matteo.
And I've been Lee.
And we will see you next week when hopefully with more great football talk. Take care, folks. Have a good one. Bye bye.